Hello everyone. I will discuss today pharmacology skill PH 5.6 that narrates demonstrate ability to educate public and patient about various aspects of drug use including drug dependence and OTC. The domain covered is ATCOM. Level is IMG shall show how he will demonstrate. It is core competency and a lecture small group discussion with demonstration can be teaching learning method. Assessment will be done at a skill station and integration can be done with psychiatry and medicine. Why is it necessary to educate patients and public for appropriate drug use? Providing consistent and reliable information on drugs enhances adherence and success of therapy. It reduces inappropriate drug use and its adverse consequences. Many patients feel that so many queries related to drug use were not cleared during visit and thus remain uncertain and dissatisfied. Patients depend heavily on healthcare provided for drug information, particularly in India. They thus rely on information from patients' relatives if doctor doesn't provide information. These relatives who have different experiences with drug use and thus may not be relevant and trustworthy to the patient. Internet is the most frequently sought source of drug information today. A recent study has shown that about 25% patients do not read drug package insert and 50% read only sometimes. Furthermore, 56.7% read the information for side effects and only 19% saw the information on drug intake. Therefore, various aspects of drug therapy must be discussed with patient and patient should know them. These aspects are: what are the expectations of the patient from drug therapy? What is the role of adherence? What are the values and limitations of the drug therapy? How are drug acting on the patient? And what are the sources of further drug information? Patient's expectations are of four types: ideal expectations, predicted expectations, normative expectations, and unformed expectations. Generally, it is felt that if I am taking medicine for prevention of heart attack, I should not have developed any attack at all. Otherwise, what is the need of medicine? Now, this type of expectation, the patient should be educated and he should understand that there is no all and none law in practice of medicine and drugs will produce beneficial effects which may range from somewhat to a great extent. Therefore, patient's expectations would also. Now, about the drugs and their actions, there are many things a patient should know. For example, a medicine often resets altered physiological function back as near to normal as possible. The patient should also know that drugs do not create new functions. An anti-diabetic drug will bring back high blood sugar to normal and its adverse consequences. Therefore, metabolic function improves. Many medicines have curative action in infections and their duration of therapy would depend on type of the infection a patient suffers. Often one suffers from self-limiting viral diseases where medicines provide symptom relief only and ultimately the disease abates by its own. Some medicines provide for deficiency of minerals, iron deficiency, anemia, or proteins and vitamins to as a replacement. A few medicines boost out immune system to fight against illnesses, and failure to therapy is due to several factors not only related to drug but also related to disease and patient's adherence to treatment. All these points patient must. And what do's and don'ts patient should follow. Drugs have been a boon to mankind as they have improved quality and prolonged life but are not magic bullets. Medicines have effects which patient's body differentiates as beneficial and harmful effects. The idea of giving medicine is that it has more useful effects and less harmful effects. There is no pill for every ill. Non-pharmacological treatment also provides succor and relief. So pill popping behavior should be discouraged. The clinically prescribed medicines are very well investigated for the purpose of use in specified diseases. Therefore, headache may not be due to same underlying cause between two persons. Therefore, never share medicines for such a relief. For some medicines, dose adjustment is needed and is done by a doctor depending on the state of the organ function and disease progression and lab tests. One should avoid self-dose adjustment in serious or severe form of. Some medicines are habit-forming. It is important to avoid regular and continuous use of sleep aids and strong pain relievers because these are habit-forming and one may develop tendency to dependence or addiction. Always gather information about habitual use of medications from the healthcare provider and adhere to regime prescribed by him or her. Some sleep aids are considered safe for short-term use but do not share with others, particularly the elderly. Proper drug use helps achieve quicker recovery. Follow all instructions regarding medical use. Seek information from healthcare providers. Self-monitoring of some tests can be done. For example, self-blood glucose monitoring, blood pressure measurement, and that will motivate person to adhere to therapy. Do not blindly rely on the unsubstantiated claims by others and internet. Seek evidence. Communicate with healthcare provider for giving you medication related solutions of the difficulties you have come across during. And many good sources of drug information are available for the patient. These are in the form of patient information sheet or leaflet with each medicine package, disease-specific educational programs, diabetic education program, audio-visual material. Drug information centers are working in some areas. Government and health medical department initiatives are there. A lot of the information available on communicable and non-communicable diseases. Industry also promotes education material and public demonstration lectures are also held. Internal resources should be sought but should be seen that they are government sponsored and reliable resources internationally. And now the second part of the discussion would be on the over-the-counter drugs. The points to be discussed would be what are the OTC drugs, what are the common formulations for common ailments, what are the benefits and risks of use of medicines, and what do's and don'ts one must avoid. Now OTC drugs are over-the-counter drugs that is available without a prescription for common ailments and they are for self-medication. Their safety margin is also high and it increases ease of access and the responsibility for self-care. Some of the diseases are and some of these medicines are aggressively displayed in media for marketing. Common OTC drugs, the example given here, depend on the country to country and according to their regulatory rules. Paracetamol, aspirin, ibuprofen gel, cough syrups, cold remedies, anti-allergic drugs, antacids, anti-vomiting drugs, drugs for constipation, vitamins and tonics, and topical, antibacterial, antiseptic, antifungal agents. All are available OTC in various countries depending on country. Benefits of OTC are many to the patient. It enhances self-care, reduces cost burden and saves time, and it increases access to health care. In UK it has been found that 13% of the general practitioners visits and 5% of emergency visits have been found to be reduced by introduction of OTC medicines. OTC medicine also increases health and medication awareness and also provides quick symptom relief for minor ailments. It is beneficial for regulators also because it reduces healthcare expenditure for minor ailments, and these resources can be diverted for primary, secondary and tertiary healthcare establishments. Pharmaceutical industry also benefits from OTC formulations because it extends the product life cycle and increases total sale. Internationally done to find out in USA, UK, Australia and Japan, they have formulated guidelines regarding classification, regulation and use of OTC medicine. In USA, OTC drug should fulfill the following criteria, that is favorable benefit risk ratio, low potential for misuse and abuse, consumer awareness regarding its use and adequate labeling, and two categories of medicines, OTC medicines are available. Primary OTC, primarily marketed as OTC drugs were a few, whereas many drugs which were prescription only drugs earlier were shifted their status from prescription to OTC. Now according to WHO, a product to be an OTC should be marketed on prescription for at least 5 years, and this varies from country to country. 3 years is for New Zealand and 6 years is for Japan. Many drugs have thus shifted their status from the prescription drug to OTC. In Australia, there are three categories of OTC: pharmacy medication, pharmacist only medications, and general sale medication. In Japan, non-prescription medicines are further divided into those requiring guidance, including surveillance, type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1 are medicines which are sold under supervision by a registered pharmacist. Type 2 medicines are those which are provided by a pharmacist or even by qualified seller, and type 3 are those which are available at convenient stores and supermarkets without prescription. European Union have two categories, that is pharmacy medicines and general sale medicine. In India, there is no separate category of OTC drugs, and medicines which do not fall under category of Schedule H, H1 and X are considered as non-prescription drugs, and they can be obtained from pharmacists as OTC drugs. Topical or external use of certain drugs under Schedule G and H are also exempt. For example, topical diclofenac is not a Schedule H drug and can be obtained OTC, whereas tablet diclofenac is Schedule H drug and should be obtained under prescription. Now, Schedule K of the Drug and Cosmetic Act and Rule provides for household remedies such as paracetamol, liquid paraffin, eucalyptus oil, tincture iodine, various formulations for cough and cold. Potentially they are OTC drugs, and currently non-drug licensed stores can sell these household medicines in rural areas with population less than 1000. There are other conditions attached to it. Now this is done to enhance the access to health care in the less population. Ayurvedic medicines are sold as OTC even at general. Government of India has issued a draft Gazette notification in 2022 to include medicines in the OTC list as a positive list. That includes antiseptics, local antifungals, antihistaminics, antipyretics, nasal decongestants, anti-dandruff laxatives, and antibacterial for acne. These 16 medicines shall be included on serial number 40 in Schedule K, and hopefully they all will be available as OTC as a positive. The condition laid down by Government of India is that maximum duration of treatment use should not exceed 5 days, and the patient should go to a consult RMP if there is no relief, and the package size should not exceed the maximum doses of 5 doses, and each packet should have a patient information leaflet that explains how to use the medicine. The label should also show indication for which medicine is approved. The indication claimed should be same as already approved by a licensing authority. That means if paracetamol is as antipyretic, it should also be antipyretic. There are concerns, potential risk, proper labeling should be there, patients should be aware about drug use, and robust regulatory policy should be there. Potential risks of the OTC medicines is, although they are proven to be safe, but it promotes self-medication, inappropriate drug use. Some may have ADRs, particularly analgesic misuse of cough syrups and laxatives are known to occur when they are OTC. Elderly may suffer from adverse effects by OTC. There are precautions to be observed. The label should be read properly, and patients should know there are risks of taking OTC medicine uncontrolled. They may interact with other medicines, food and drinks, and also may affect the existing medical condition. They should be taken for short duration only, not too long and not in high doses. And if symptoms do not improve, then doctor should be consulted. And use of OTC medicine in children requires a lot of the precautions. Those for adults should not be used for children, and if appropriate formulation is available for children according to age and weight, only then they should be used for children. So far as possible, avoid using OTC drugs under 4 years of age. The USA FDA has issued a checklist for choosing over-the-counter medicine for adults and children. Here I am showing that information for adults. Before one goes to the store to procure OTC medicine, he should see that the problem symptoms to be treated are these, and allergies were there or not, or any medical problem is already there for which he or she is taking medicine, and what other medicines he or she is taking, and the doctor under whom he is taking these medicines should be known. Now at the store, he'll find the group of medicines, form of the particular suitable dosage forms, and should read the drug fact label. This is the most important aspect of using the drug fact label. Denotes the details of the drug, which is OTC medicine, its appropriate use, potential side effects. There are various sections. There is a section on active ingredient and purposes, and this section will tell how it is to be taken, how much is to be taken, which way it is to be taken, and a section on the warnings, what to observe, what not to observe, precautions and care of the patient. All these points are given in these warnings, and directions are also very clearly given. Now these medicine specific label information, that is, must be gone through by the patient before medicine is. Other information is also there. For example, there are inactive ingredients for which patient may be allergic, or patient should also know that neither more medicines nor less medicine should be taken. Whatever the label indicates, only that way is done. These medicines also have child safety caps, and they must be observed nicely. So to have such an information in local vernacular language and given to the patient for OTC medicine when the list is available. This discussion will enable the student in pharmacology, the postgraduate student, and also IMG to demonstrate his or her ability to inform patient about various aspects of drug use. Thank you very much.